Buying a house is no easy decision. There are a lot of things to consider, like money, style, renovations, flipping, the list is endless. But how often do we think about how creepy a house can be? Do we even ask if a house is haunted? If not, maybe you should. Because you don't want to deal with house buying regrets if your roommates are from the other side of the veil. Before we sign those escrow papers, take a moment to subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up. We're going to shine our flashlights on one lucky viewer, so keep a lookout not only for spooks, but also for our comment shoutout. Winchester House. You've probably been seeing trailers with Helen Mirren for the new movie Winchester, but this is much more than fiction. Mary Winchester was a real person who was married to William Wirt Winchester, who invented the infamous gun. Mary believed that her house was haunted by those who were taken out by the gun which built her empire. So she started building extra rooms into her mansion to trick the ghosts. Perhaps she should have called two certain Winchesters from Supernatural instead. Thomas House. Imagine hosting a nice event at the Thomas House Hotel when suddenly things are flying off the shelves, people are being touched, and there's a chill in the air. This happens all too often at the Thomas House in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. There are also dark figures that have been spotted, cold spots, and more. It's not even uncommon for ghost hunting events to be called off early because it gets too intense. CNN declared the Thomas House the second most haunted place in the United States. Whaley House. The Whaley House is one of the most historically significant houses in San Diego, California. The house dates back to the 1800s, before San Diego grew to the massive city it is today. The folks who resided there seem to still be hanging out. There are several ghosts who have been documented on the property. The Whaley House is considered to be the most haunted house in America, and it is a ghost hunter's playground. Amityville. The Amityville horror has given us nightmares for 4 decades. What really got the public interested in the house is that it seems to be all based on a true story. After a massive tragedy in 1974, the house was bought by George and Kathy Lutz in 1975. The family lived in the house for only 28 days before they fled in fear. From flies, nightmares, smells, physical attacks, and more, the family was terrified by an unseen entity that haunted the premises. After the Lutz family left, the activity seemed to decrease to nothing. Well, hey, let's take a break from the spooks and give a special shout out to one of you, our awesome viewers. Let's hear it for Sophie Armstrong, who says, "I love your videos. Your videos are so interesting and I watch them every day. Thank you." Thank you for watching and being so awesome, Sophie. Now, back to the show. Keighley Mansion. When you look at the Keighley Mansion, it looks like something from a horror film. The house currently functions as an office for Adam Sedlock from Paranormal State. Knowing that the house is haunted, Adam allows investigations of the property. There have been incidents of music boxes playing by themselves, things being thrown, and a dark entity that makes itself known at nighttime. Creepy. Myrtles Plantation. Located in St. Francisville, Louisiana, the Myrtles Plantation is a historic home that has seen a lot of turbulence in American history. All of the suffering that happened on the plantation still remain today. In 1992, a photo surfaced of what looks like a slave girl standing in between 2 buildings. Apparitions have also been spotted in the mirrors and windows of the Myrtles Plantation, so you never know who's posing for a picture with you. Jane Street. Buying real estate in New York is an expensive endeavor, so you want to make sure it's not creepy and there are no ghosts. Well, there is a home on Jane Street in New York City that is believed to be haunted by Alexander Hamilton. Yes, the same Alexander Hamilton that has a rapping musical about him. Residents throughout the years claim to have seen Alexander in the windows as well as the kitchen. When one resident was remodeling the house, she left the plans out for Alexander to see. Granted, this would be the house where Alexander passed, which is very interesting. Villisca House. In Villisca, Iowa, there is a home that has a very similar history to the Amityville house. Instead of using a loaded weapon, one person took an axe and managed to end the life of an entire family. Today, the home still stands and it is opened for ghost hunters to explore. However, the more the house is investigated, the more it is believed that something demonic resides there. Given the terrible tragedy that took place, it's not a huge shocker. From scratches, apparitions, and a general creepy vibe, it's not a place you want to consider buying. Hinsdale House. In the woods of Hinsdale, New York, there is a home that is so laden with paranormal activity that even the most seasoned ghost hunters hesitate to go in. The house has a history of levitations, apparitions, and even exorcisms. It is believed to be the most haunted house in the state of New York. The family that lived there in the 1970s eventually had to leave in order to protect their kids from the ghostly attacks. Today, the house stands in shambles. Mercer Williams House. Remember the movie Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil? Well, that was all based on real people. The Mercer Williams house was owned by Jim Williams, and he ended the life of his assistant and caretaker, Danny Hansford. Williams was eventually found not guilty, only to lose his own life not too long after. But before that whole situation happened, a boy named Tommy Downs fell to his demise. So there has been a lot of life-ending events that took place here, and Jimmy, Danny, and Tommy have apparently never left. Want to buy one of these houses? Tell us why or why not in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and give this video a thumbs up. Sorry for the nightmares, and be sure to cuddle close to your teddy bear. Sweet dreams!